Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sessions with Kat. We're here for another video on the randomness that is me, but this isn't that random. I'm actually going to go over how I choose different Oracle tarot decks, even how I choose my playing cards and my charms from my charm casting set. But take what you need from this, okay? Like, these are also recommendations that I put when, that I suggest when I'm teaching class as well. So take what you need from it and go from there. So before we begin, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mama, daddy, whoever, as long as they're okay with cuss words, because you know, my sentence enhancers are great. But, so there's that. Another update, Walking Home Barefoot is almost ready. October 1 will be the start date. Okay. I am taking prepays now if you would like to sign up. Otherwise, I'm going to launch everything on October 1. So if you want to prepay now, the price is lower. October 1, the price is higher. That's kind of how that's going to work. But you have to email me, okay? I am not putting a link out there. It will be your own personal invoice and so on and so forth. So if you're interested, you must email me. Don't text me because this is my job. This is my career. This is my passion. Don't text me. Please email me because that is where I'm keeping everything intact, I should say, like everything in order. So please email me, and my email is in the description box if you don't have it. I think that's it. I have another event coming up, but I don't exactly know the full date yet, but we'll get there. Anyway, here we are talking about Oracle cards, and I'm looking at, like, y'all, like, there's only like a handful of decks on my desk here, but I'm like looking over and I'm like, I got a shit ton of fucking decks, y'all. Like, no lie, like, I legit probably have too many. I'm not fucking counting because don't judge me, judge your mama. But I have loads of them. Oh, another update. I am in the process of creating my own Oracle. Okay, not a tarot, a Oracle, because not everybody reads tarot, and Oracle is a bit easier for people to begin reading from. So I'm in the process of that. I'm working on design right now. So bear with me, and I'll let you guys know when it's ready. Let's get into this. All right. Thank Miss Felicia in the comments for being in tune with my spirit guides, because this was the next video anyway. She wanted to know, how do I select a deck? Like, what calls to me from the deck, or just kind of the process. And so that's kind of what I'm going to go over here. I'm including tarot and Oracle in this. Not the playing cards, because playing cards is usually depends on the image on the court cards. And the energy I get from the deck itself. So playing cards, it just depends on the theme of it and whatnot. Like, I have Winnie the Pooh, I have a Bast set of playing cards. I have like ketchup and french fries, mustard and hot dogs. Like, the shit's random. But when I'm using playing cards, it really depends on who I'm reading, which set of playing cards I'm going to use. So that's kind of how I choose those. For charms, okay, if you are building your own charm casting set, it's whatever you collect, right? Whatever gives meaning for you and which you can use to better read your situation or read others. If you're reading others with the charms, it's whatever you collect, okay? So those two things are different from the Oracle and the Tarot. So I'm going to go through a few, and I'm just going to explain to you how I came to select the deck, okay? So the first one, excuse me, moving stuff, is this one. Okay, why did I choose this? I love to cook. The kitchen, I am what you call a kitchen witch, okay? I love to cook everything that, I mean, and I love food too, right? Like, so like, if you ever gotten a reading from me, you'll hear me talk about food somewhere in there, but it's to help relate um the message to whatever you're talking about, right? But I love cooking. I love all of that. So what drew me to this, not only because it was the kitchen tarot, but it's just the major cards. Okay, so, and if you're looking for this deck, good luck. I think it's like out of print. It's the different items in the kitchen, right? Like the dish soap, right? The salt and pepper. It's not just food. It's everything in the kitchen, which everything in your kitchen matters, especially this, right? Everything in there matters, especially for me, because as I've been on this journey of, food allergies, I've been building my own personal cookbook. So this really helps me to kind of like express that and help me kind of like open up a bit more. So I like this deck for that reason. So that's the reason I purchased this deck, is simply because I love food. Okay, I love to cook. I even have the Cook's Tarot. Okay, because I love food. I love to cook. So it's more of a hobby type thing, but I can also use it to read people, especially, like I said, if you know me, I relay everything to food. So that's the reason for choosing this one, not necessarily the images. Even though I love the images, it's not necessarily the images. It's the fact that it like piqued my interest, my hobby, like it connected with the hobbies that I have. And then also I can use it to help others, okay? So that's that one. This tarot deck, and I'm sure many of you have seen me use this one before, for shadow work. That's mainly what this deck is for. Is because if you know me, you know how raw I get in these readings, and I dig deep. I force you to dig deep. And I know force is not the right word, but I really do, because I'm not about that surface level shit. I need to get to the roots of it, right? And this is one of those decks that helps me get to the meat of it. And that's why I like this deck. It was the images, truth be told. Not just the fact that it was more based on shadow work for me. It's the images, the way the colors pop in it, okay? I read reversals, so some of the cards will be reversed. It's the way those shadows spoke. It's the same with the Spirit one by Stephen Bright. That one. I should have grabbed that one so you guys see it. It's the shadows in it. It's the shadows. It's the artwork. This seems a bit more complicated, but the soul is complicated, right? The situations are complicated. So I like reading that energy in it. So that's one of the reasons I chose this deck. And that it is what it is, right? I love this deck, okay? Again, I don't use the book, but, I choose decks mainly like, and also too, like if I like a deck, I'm going to go see if I can find more images of the cards to see if I can read it without the book. Okay. 9 times out of 10, I can read it, but it's a matter if I'm connected to all the images as well. That deck that I just showed you, I'm connected to the images. So there's that. This one. Okay. So you guys know I use a lot of animal medicine in my work. Whether it be readings, whether it be healings, whatever. And I feel like I don't have enough animal cards. That might be a lie. But again, don't judge me, judge your mama. But I feel like I don't have enough animal cards. So I've purchased a few. Okay, what a few is to you versus me is you keep your business to yourself. I keep mine. But I like this because I needed the animal energy, but I also wanted it black and white. Okay, because I see in color, so I can see whatever color needs for me as I'm venturing through the cards and the reading for the person, or even the healing session, right? You know, I don't like snakes, but this one isn't so vicious. Uh, I can see the color. Like if I'm reading someone, I can see what color is coming from it. So like I can tell like which chakra is tied to or which part of their aura is it's tied to, that kind of thing. So I need it black and white. And this came across my I think Etsy. Yeah, this was off of Etsy. I'm not putting links in there because I have no idea where I got all of these decks from, okay? So if you see a deck that you like, you might want to message me in the comments and I'll tell you the name of it. But I can't be sure where I got all of these cards from. I'm not going to lie to you. I get so many from different places. But I chose this one for that reason, okay? So if you do energy work and you need something to kind of help better explain what's going on with the person, choose your deck based off of that. Like that's one of the reasons I got this. I have both. I have the Soul Cards 1 and the 2. That was one of the reasons I got this deck, is because I do use this mainly for healing work and also to connect with like my soul twin and everything like that. So some of the cards are upside down. So like, it's just, there's no words on this one, which is fine with me because to me, I don't need the words. It's great for other people, like the people I'm reading, but it's for me, I don't need the words. But this is more reflective of what I see when I look at people, right? And if I'm not doing a energy healing, but I need to explain to the person what I'm seeing, I'll whip out one of these 2 decks, right? And I'll usually be able to find whichever card is tied to whatever that person is going through. I hope that made sense, okay? I think I got these ones off of Amazon, but I'm pretty sure you can just go straight to Deborah's website and get them from there because I know she does. You can order them from there. So that's that. This one I chose for meditative purposes. I sometimes like having a focus when I meditate. Okay. It's the same with this one. I like having a focus or a purpose, right? So the mudras and this one, these 2 together, I usually have my mental focus here and then something to do with my hands. So I'm not fidgety, right? I don't know if, like for some of you, you might like sit there in meditation and be like, I can't sit still, this, that, and the third. That's where the mudras come in. So it's not necessarily about the images. It's about the mudras. It's something to do with my hands while I'm meditating. And then this gives me a focus, okay? I'm sure you guys have seen me use this one before. I know you guys have seen me use the mudras, but it just gives me a focus, right? Sometimes it's the animal energy that calls out. Sometimes it's the word on there. It just really depends. And then I choose a mudra according to how I feel and what card I chose from this deck. So these 2 I usually use, well 3 because I have the one for the elements. The 3 I usually use in, what's the word, in unison. Like I use all 3 together when I'm doing meditation. So these are mainly for personal use. I do share them on like my Instagram and whatnot from time to time, but they're mainly for personal use. That's what this one's for. So I don't use those ones in healings, but it's mainly for personal use. What called me to the land sky one was just purely its energy. Okay? That's purely what called me to it. This one. So if you're on my email listing and you did the Divine Feminine 9-day meditation and then you signed up for the Divine Masculine 9-day meditation, well, I didn't have a masculine deck. So I fucking bought one. And this seemed to be the only one out there that actually spoke to me. Okay? It wasn't this. It was just the vibe. And I've had Stacey DeMarco sets before, but this encompasses like a variety of pantheons. So I was excited about this because then I could kind of make connections with the divine feminine part a little bit easier to kind of like pull it all together and balance it out for you guys. So that was what this deck is for. Am I going to read people with it? No. Am I going to do the divine masculine 9-day meditation again? Yes. So boom, I have a deck for it. That is purely its purpose. There is a goddesses and sirens one, if I'm correct, the feminine side that she created for this, but I didn't need that one. I needed this one. Okay. If you feel like you need both, then buy both, but I only needed the one, and it only serves one purpose for me. I don't use it for any other reason. I don't put it on my altar. I don't use it. Like, it literally is for the 9-day meditation. That's all this is for. Moving on. This one, haha. Believe it or not, this is one of my favorite decks because the juju in this sucker is up there. Especially when I'm doing candle work. So I needed something to like give my candles a little bit more oomph, on the altar that they sit on. And like, I have a set of playing cards that I use for candle work, but I need something else. And I was like, I need something that's going to be a bit more uplifting, but also be true to nature. And when this came out, I was thoroughly excited. So I bought it. Okay. And I've been using it for my candle work, and it has it's been everything. Okay. It has been everything. So that's what I use this for. I don't know. I might do another video on it. I don't know. But these two gals also did the Mudras deck. Okay. The Sabina's artwork is just, I hope I pronounced your name right, ma'am. I did. I hope I pronounced it right. But her artwork is just, love it. The vibe, the energy, everything. And then Allison with, the messages and everything in it. I love it. I need it. Love it. All the way through and through. So that's what I chose this for. This only serves the purpose of candle work. That's what it's been designated. That's why you don't see me posted on Instagram or anywhere else. It's serving its purpose for candle work. So you can choose decks for that reason. Okay, that they only serve one purpose, and that ain't nobody's business but your own. Okay. Now, this one, I honestly wasn't gonna buy it. Okay, not because I'm not connected with it, not because the images, or it's not that. I didn't fucking see it in the store. I walked into this shop and I'm walking around and I get to the register and I said, there's something calling me. I'm not exactly sure where I'm supposed to go. Give me a second, ma'am. I turned around, followed the energy, and I stopped at the case, realized the case was locked, went back over and said, I need whatever that deck is in that case. She walked over, she goes, oh, this one. I said, yeah, that one. And she goes, this is the most expensive deck in my shop. I said, well, apparently they want me to have it, so gone and add it to the tab, right? And I understand now why they wanted me to have it. Because, woo, like there is so much energy sitting in this. And honestly, I thought maybe, and sorry for the sirens, there's, stuff going on outside. I have never seen this deck until I got it. Okay. I had never even heard of it, truth be told. But a friend of mine, a very dear sister of mine, that's what I like to call her. She does a healing modality called Limpias. And When she tried it on me the first time, I thought to myself, sweet Jesus, this is her version of what I do. And I loved it. Okay, I loved it for her. I loved it for me. I loved all of it. And then as of late, I keep seeing a lot of different pieces of art from Mexico, and I even own a piece of art, and I have no idea what era it's from. It's just it won't let go of me. And a dear sister friend of mine gave that to me, and I'm like, it's staying, and it hasn't left my side in over 8 years, right? And I realized that I'm gonna have to incorporate some of this stuff into my healing work. So this deck is for healing purposes only. Okay, I do share images from time to time, but it's mainly for the healing energy that comes from it. Do I have some studying to do? Of course, because this ain't my culture, right? And let me rephrase that. It's not that it's not my culture, okay? It's new to my being, okay? And I need to understand it a little bit more before I can use it. So am I using the book? Partially. It's mostly out of meditation that I connect with these. But I do use it for healing purposes, right? When they tell me, hey, you need this card out of this deck, I run to that deck and I get that card. That's what this is for, okay? I mainly use the book to kind of help with pronunciation or if I need it. And just like small things, but this might be one of those decks where I have to use the book. Okay, so it's a delightful deck. I am appreciative of Spirit, telling me that I needed it, because I did, and it is tied to part of my culture, and I'm learning to incorporate it a little bit more firmly, if that makes sense, right? I love the colors, I love it all, but that's what this deck is for. It is simply for healing myself, not necessarily others. I should have put that in there. This is more of a self-healing type of deck. So when I'm working on myself, which that's part of shadow work, this is what I use. I will, just kind of like a side note here, I will be using this as I continue building upon the Walking Home Barefoot program, because there is a retreat that's going to come with that. So this will be used during that retreat. So that's kind of what this deck is for. Next, now I know these two are recent. I know you guys have seen these, okay? Wisdom of the Shadow, Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. These are for Walking Home Barefoot, okay? Now that I've revamped the program, okay? That's what these two decks are for. Because Walking Home Barefoot program is going to be an group effort. So just so you guys know, a little snippet, it will be in groups so that you can build a tribe, because that's important. But we also need to be able to like work on ourselves and really dig deeper than we have before. And for some reason, Spirit says that these two decks will help with that. So that's what these are for. Why did I back this? I have no idea. I was just told to do so by Spirit, okay? I love the images now that I've seen them, right? And I've seen bits of the images in the Kickstarter that this was in. But I hadn't heard of this until that. And so Spirit's like, you need both of those, please and thank you. And I'm like, all right. So I backed them, and here they are. So that's how these were chosen. So you might be called to a deck simply because Spirit said you need it. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes you're called to a deck because the images are pretty, right? And you feel like you can read it. That might be it too, right? Get that deck, right? Get that oracle deck, get that tarot deck, whatever, your personal choice. Sometimes I buy decks to give away. Okay. Spirit will say, hey, you need to buy this, but you're also going to give it away. And I'll be like, all right, just let me know when I got to give it away. And that's usually how that works. So if you've ever been in a reading with me or even in Walking Home Barefoot and I gave you a deck, that's because Spirit told me that it was going home with you. Okay. So this one, I should have brought the damn box over, but I didn't. I believe this is the Witch's Wisdom Tarot. I bought this because the major Arcana, however you pronounce that, goes backwards. It takes you out of the world and back into yourself. And that's what I love about this deck. So this is honestly a personal deck. I've tried reading others with it and it don't fly. It don't fly. Spirit was like, I don't know why you're doing that. And I'm like, yeah, me either, right? So I got this, and I know I did a video on this. And if you remember that video, you know why I purchased this deck. It was simply for one card, and it was because I found Baba Yaga. Girl, get it right before she come and smite your ass. Baba Yaga. I found her. This was the first card I saw for this deck. And that is the reason I snatched this bitch up. I was like, bought Amazon, because I do remember buying this on Amazon. I bought it, and if you got Prime, it shipped in like 2 days, and boom, that was the whole reason for me buying it, was this one card. And you see the house back there. Let me pull that closer and come up on you like we about to fight. If you see the house back there, Baba Yaga's house has chicken feet. So I knew exactly who this was and why I needed this deck, because she is part of the whole guide group. And yeah, like if I ain't doing right, she will beat my head, which is fine because sometimes I need it, right? And this deck does that. It knocks my head because sweet Jesus, sometimes I need it. Sometimes I get off track. So that's why I bought this deck, okay? Now, lastly, because there are different types of decks out there, excuse me for shaking that camera, and different tools out there. And remember, when you're choosing a deck, it's whatever calls to you, right? If it's the images, if it's Spirit saying, hey, bitch, you need that deck, you get that deck. Or you put it on your wish list, or you tell somebody, hey, my birthday coming up, buy this for me. They can buy you a damn deck. It's okay. Okay, it's not wrong to have someone buy you a deck. But, remember to choose wisely. Know what you're going to be using that deck for. If it's just for general purposes, that's fine. You don't want to have too many that are just for general purposes, because then everything gets kind of washed and mixed up. If you're buying a love deck, 1 or 2 will do. Don't buy more than that, okay? If you're buying a shadow work deck, really depends on the type of shadow work you're doing and how soft you want it to be or how hard. I don't mind being called out on my shit from a deck, okay? Sometimes, I'll be taking it a little bit personal, but anybody would, right? But I don't mind being called out, okay? If you want divine feminine shadow work type of things, buy a deck that's based on that. Make sure the images talk to you, right? Make sure you don't need the book. That's the biggest thing I can tell you, is that if you're going to purchase a deck, look up the images and make sure you don't need the book to read it. Okay? Now, this last one, it was a 2-piece kind of thing. So I got this from one Jamie Sawyer, and now this was a pretty penny, y'all. Okay, this by far is the most expensive divination set that I've ever purchased, okay? But it was fucking worth it, Okay. I use this at events. I really do. It makes reading a little bit easier. Okay, so this is one of her boards, and it's not giving you the full picture. Let me see if I can, go a little bit. No, it won't let me go in, y'all. Sorry. But I'll try to move it there. This is one of her boards. This makes it easy when I'm doing events. I don't have to always carry regular cards with me. Now the board, I might have to put like a coating on it, so in case I'm reading outside and it gets wet, then I won't have any issues. But this is the Pocket of Peers Tarot tiles. Okay, it comes in this beautiful little puzzle box, and they're little tiles. I'm only gonna pull a few out, right? Little tiles, right? And I put these in a bag. Right now they're stored in the box, but when I'm at an event, I put them in a bag, and I focus. Focus. Maybe because my hand's right there. I have no idea. But I put these in a bag. I let the person I'm reading shake it up and kind of dig in however many they want me to read. If they want the full board, they're going to have to pull out one for each one, right? And literally, and sometimes I let them choose where they want it to go, and I read based off of that. So if you haven't noticed, this right here, this middle section, is the major arcana. It's the, I guess keywords to it. I don't necessarily need the keywords, but I love it here for the person I'm reading if they don't fully understand tarot. Okay. Then you have the elements, and then you have the minor arcana there. Okay. This makes traveling and doing events so much easier. This is the reason I purchased this. I purchased the Pocket of Peers Tarot because it gave me a more realistic perspective of the cards, right, of the tarot, so that I can give the person in front of me a more realistic reading. Okay, something that they can relate to. Because when you look at the images, these are actual people, right? Are you gonna focus? It's not gonna focus because it's rude. But these are real people, right? These are real people on this day. Like this beautiful lady. I follow her on Instagram. These are real people, right? So that's one of the reasons I purchased this. Right now, this deck costs a bit. Most decks can start at less than $20 and go up to hundreds of dollars. But you want to choose what's right for you, right? What's in alignment for you. And usually your guides, your team will tell you, your eyes will tell you, trust your gut, right? If you see an oracle deck or even a tarot deck that says, buy me, there's a reason, okay? Go look up the images first before you buy it. And then if you can read without the book, then go ahead and snatch that up. If you still want it, but want to learn how to read without the book, buy the deck, but then take a tarot class or an oracle class or whatever to help you better read that that set of cards, right? On a more intuitive level, right? Because like I said, like I know the tarot, but I'm more of an intuitive reader. When I teach tarot, I teach both the book part, but mainly the intuitive part. So just kind of keep that in mind, right? So if you're interested in learning tarot, buy that deck, but then take a tarot class or oracle class, because some people teach those too. I teach both. I know a lot of people who teach both. So just kind of do that. But that's how I choose my tarot and my oracle cards, and even my charms and playing cards, right? Or whatever I decide to use, including the bones, right? It all is all determined by spirit, mainly for me, and then also how many uses can I get out of it, or if it's just a one-time use and if it's worth it for that one-time use. Okay, so that being said, I am sorry for this long ass video, but it had to be said. Deal with it. Okay, love you though, love you. Just fucking deal with it. If you have any questions, please don't be afraid to, comment below or send me an email. Or if you follow me on Instagram, you can send me a message. Just send me your questions if you have any, or if you're curious about a certain deck that you think that I might own, or you want my opinion on it. That's fine too. But yeah, so that's that. Okay. Please stay hydrated. Make sure you're eating. Make sure you're, living your best fucking life, right? So it's the fucking weekend. Try to enjoy it as best you can, right? And yeah, may your work always pay off, right? That's what that little one is about. May your work always pay off. May your efforts always be big on return, okay? And I wish you all the brightest of blessings. Bye.